What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on a narrative that's going around uh, about Angel Reese, not just Angel Reese, but some of the and a lot of the other WNBA players, right? Angel Reese, but Angel Reese probably is like the main one that people would consider like a roadblock for the WNBA growing, right? Because people are saying that well, it's a narrative going around that, like players are jealous of Caitlin Clark. And they are standing in the way of Caitlin Clark and not showing their appreciation, for Caitlin Clark bringing more eyes to the league. Now, it's while it's true that Caitlin Clark is bringing more attention to the league, Caitlin Clark is definitely good for the WNBA, but I don't think that the players of the WNBA and mainly Angel Reese will be able to stop like the growth. Like if the WNBA was going to grow and expand and gain in popularity and stuff like that, I don't think that the players like Angel Reese will be able to stop that. Um, if you remember, like when Michael Jordan came to the league, right, and certain players had issues with Michael Jordan and wanted to show Michael Jordan that you know, he wasn't that dude, like Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons. They didn't, the NBA did not allow Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons to stand in the way of what they would consider like progress, and the league expanded. It went from Magic and Bird, made it more popular here in the States. Isaiah too helped the league grow here in the United States. And then all of those guys wind up, including Michael Jordan, making the game a like an international game. So if there was an opportunity for the league to grow, there would be no way that Angel Reese or any other player that is like jealous of Caitlin Clark would be able to stop that, because the NBA, the WNBA would do everything in their power to make sure that that didn't happen if they was really concerned about growing. So, but what I do think is going on is that the WNBA is promoting a narrative, almost like a rivalry, but the rivalry really don't have anything to do with basketball. The rivalry is about like is Angel Reese jealous of Caitlin Clark, or did she even hate Caitlin Clark? And so they make it more about that, like the personal, like how these two women feel about each other personally. And so that takes away from the game of basketball. And I think that the WNBA is making a mistake when they focus more so on a drama between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese than they do actually, like what Caitlin Clark is doing on the court, what Angel Reese is doing on the court, and just leave it at that. But and the thing is, like, these two women won't be able to be a rivalry because you have one young lady who's playing on a team that could, a lot of people believe, could challenge, for a championship, and that's Caitlin Clark. She just have a lot of talent around her. And it looks like she's even, she's gotten a little bit better. She's gotten better on the off season and stuff like that. So she's coming ready to play. But it's not the same thing with Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. They are more so, the Chicago Sky look like they are in rebuilding mode. They got rid of their point guard from last year. What was the name? Kennedy. And so they brought in I forgot who I think they have Haley Van Leaf, which I like Haley Van Leaf. I think she's a good guard, but I don't think that overall Chicago has the talent to be able to challenge a team like Indiana, right? Indiana went out and got, they went out and got a very good coach, and they went out and got some very good players to surround Caitlin Clark. So Indiana's situation is a whole lot different than than the Chicago Sky. Chicago Sky, they do have a rookie coach, and he does have experience. I think he was with the Las Vegas Aces when they won a championship. But like I said, you have teams that are going like they are like on two. I'm not saying they're going in two directions, but they're just on two different levels. So Angel Reese wouldn't be, right now, she's her team can't compete with Caitlin Clark's team. And so, but I can see certain people in the medias starting to go towards that narrative that Angel Reese is holding up the WNBA from growing because of her dislike and her personal attitudes towards Caitlin Clark. And it's not like that. I think part of the WNBA problem is going to be the reemergence of the NBA. Um, and because of you have a new crop of young players in the NBA who are coming along, and they're bringing more excitement. They're bringing more excitement to the game, and so I think that when men's basketball is doing better, that's really not a good. I think women's basketball, like their attendance, will suffer because some of their fan base is shared, meaning that like some of the people who like NBA, they'll watch the WNBA, like myself. Like I'll watch the WNBA if if the NBA is not really if it's not as good as you're used to seeing the NBA, because it's not like the WNBA product is bad, in my opinion. I don't think the WNBA product is bad. I don't think the game is bad. But I think that when the men's game is bad, um, like I said, the men's fans will go over to the WNBA. Now, the thing about Caitlin Clark, she has her own fan base. She has a very big fan base. But that's she's only one person, and that's only one fan base. And so you really can't expect Caitlin Clark's fan base to raise the level, to raise the WNBA like that. That's a lot to ask from one player for them to be able to rise the sport like that. Now I think like for what was the guy named Tiger Woods, like in golf, for instance, like Tiger Woods, I think he brought a segment to golf that really wasn't there, right? Because now I'm not really into golf, but I know like a lot of African Americans now they're into golf and stuff like that. And he made it more popular, for the African American community because most people thought that maybe, I don't know, they maybe didn't find golf exciting, or they maybe didn't find golf, or they maybe thought that it was expensive to play because you had to buy all those clubs and stuff like that. Then you probably have to join a golf club, and you have to um, pay to play on certain courses. So I think that's a little bit different. The fan base that Caitlin Clark brings to there, I don't even really know if they are like diehard fans. I think they really support Caitlin Clark because of she's somebody who just really just captivated a certain audience, a certain fan base. And so I don't know if that will be sustainable for the WNBA, like the Caitlin Clark fan base. Whereas though with golf and Tiger Woods, like that fan base, even though Tiger Woods, in my opinion, has fell off. And like I said, I'm not really into golf like that. But even though, in my opinion, that Tiger Woods has fell off, you still have that following of people who still who play golf now. You have even athletes. You have like Michael Jordan play golf, Steph Curry play golf, Charles Barkley. But and that was new, like that was new to that fan base. But basketball is not new to the fan base that I think that Caitlin Clark bring to the league. And like I said, I'm not sure it's sustainable. Like her fan base alone will be able to elevate the WNBA. I don't know if it'll elevate the WNBA. And so if her fan base is not able to elevate the WNBA the way people would hope that it is, then I'm thinking that there'll be a narrative put out there about Angel Reese and players like her who stood in the way of the WNBA growing and expanding. And in my opinion, that's why I'm making this video, because it's not true. Believe me, if Angel Reese was in the way of progress, or if any other, what's the young lady name who just had the run-in with Caitlin Clark? I think her name is Ryan Howard. If any player in the WNBA, if they was in the way of progress, just believe that they wouldn't be able to, they would get them out of there. Not get them out of there, but they would legislate rules and stuff like, where though you can't foul people hard, or the referees will look for that, and they would get those ladies, they would correct that situation. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.